Can we start now, Ujjwala?
Sure, Kirtiji, please begin.
Okay. Friends and colleagues, it gives me enormous pleasure to welcome you at the 93rd webinar of the series of webinars that INHAF has been running for last 2 years on the subject Rethinking Cities. In fact, I am very delighted that it is 93rd, which really means we are not very far from a century, 100 webinars, and that is no mean achievement. But it would also be a sobering sort of a thought, because our commitment is to organize 150 such webinars. So while we are preparing to celebrate, I think of the 100th webinar pretty soon, we also, I think, know that we have a long way to go. So, but thank you very much, Shelter Associates. Thank you very much, Pratima ji. She agreed to my request and suggestion that they organize 2 webinars. We already had one, and this is the second one on holistic sanitation solutions towards equitable future. And if you're talking about urbanization, you're talking about cities, and not to talk about, I think, sanitation during this period is absolutely incorrect, because just a few days back, I was talking to the university students in Melbourne, Australia, and started telling them how proud and happy we are in India to have built something like 100 million toilets under the government's program. So 100 million toilets, as people sitting in Australia would not even believe such a number. They thought maybe I'm making a mistake. Instead of 10 million, I was saying 100 million, but that is precisely what has happened. Let me also extend a very special thanks to Dr. Babasaheb Rajale, the Deputy Municipal Commissioner from Navi Mumbai. We don't always have people from the government, so I'm very, very delighted to have Babasaheb here in this particular meeting. And of course, thank everyone, especially Dhanashree ji, for anchoring this particular meeting. Now, before I go ahead, let me kind of, share with you this whole little about why are we doing this webinar series. What does it mean by reaching 93rd webinar? How we have been able to kind of, pull on for about 2 years consistently, every week, 1 or 2 webinars. And I thought it's very important for me to tell you what are we trying to do, what we're trying to get from this particular thing. And I must say that, this particular webinar series that we've been doing for the last 2 years has 4 underlying assumptions on urbanization and cities in this country. Number one, that despite being engines of economic growth and centers of culture, technology, knowledge, and global attention and investment, our cities are not in great health. They're not in pink of health. And be that small or big city, be that industrial or commercial city, be that district town or a state capital. And it's not, it is also not only what is ailing us. Anything we look at, be that environment or water or governance or planning, or slums or housing or rivers or even climate change. What one is saying is this, that, our cities are not in pink kind of health, and they are saddled with multiple challenges, many, many major challenges. So this is the first thing that, we started with. Second thing, which is even more important, is the cities as they are and the way they are growing and developing do not look like meeting the challenge of unprecedented urbanization India is witnessing. It doesn't look like providing safe and healthy quality of living to 840 million people who will be there in our cities in 30 more years. It's almost doubling of India's urban population in 30 more years. And nor does it look like producing 7 to 8% growth that the country expects to get in order to get rid of poverty and emerge as an economic power. So the second important point is this, that not only we have challenges, the second point is that we do not look like, I'm not saying we are not, we do not look like to meeting the challenge adequately, both of phenomenal population growth as well as expectation that we have from cities to grow at 7 to 8% in order to kind of eliminate poverty and become a power that we aspire to be. The third point is this, that government is making enormous effort. And you don't have to kind of go very far to find out what's happening. You look at Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana, and we're talking about 12 million houses. We're talking about toilet project. We're talking about 100 million toilets. If we're talking about Pradhan Mantri Gramin Awas Yojana, we're talking about 30 million houses. And therefore, government is doing a lot. But it's also very, very clear that government alone, or effort of the government alone, are not adequate in order to ensure healthy, livable, productive, inclusive, and sustainable cities. And these adjectives are very important to put. We are not talking about just livable cities alone. We talk about sustainable cities. We will talk about inclusive cities which take care of the poor. We're going to talk about productive cities because we need growth. And we're going to talk about livable and healthy cities because we have got to kind of take care of our people. And the fourth point about cities is this, the wider society, the human capital outside the government system has the required skills, knowledge, experience, and even motivation to contribute meaningfully in search for alternatives and new solutions. So these are the fourth consideration based on which we started this whole exercise. And therefore, this webinar series is a part of a wider national societal effort aimed to bring in not only fresh ideas and new perspectives, but also new voices and a new collectivism, new togetherness, new partnership, and new energy in articulating the need for and ways to rethinking our cities. So we are essentially saying that we're looking for new ideas, new perspectives, new ways of doing things, new solutions in terms of redefining the urban challenge and finding more effective ways to addressing this urban challenge. And it is in that particular context that we have been doing this. We are talking about building a societal partnership with government and large number of people addressing issues together in order to meet this daunting urban challenge. This is in that particular context that we have been doing this. We have tremendous support in terms of organizing and doing this. And as I said earlier, we intend doing much more in the next year or so. With that kind of introduction, I then move to the Dhanashree ji to take over and moderate this very important, very timely webinar, which Shelter Associates is organizing with INHAF today. Thank you very much, Dhanashree ji, and thank you very much, Babasaheb ji, and thank you very much to everyone else who is here for this meeting. So thank you.
Thank you so much, Kirti ji. I'm just sharing my screen. Just is it visible to all?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, okay. So good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us this evening for this webinar. And as Kirti ji already have introduced me, I am part of a Shelter Associates team, and will be moderating this webinar today. So on the behalf of organizers, I welcome everyone who has joined this webinar from the panelists, and we have community representation also with us, and all the participants to have this important conversation on holistic sanitation and delivery for the equitable future. So before moving forward, I just would like to make an announcement to ensure a smooth delivery of the webinar. If during the presentation, if anybody has questions, please put that in the Q&A section so that we can take them towards the end of the all presentations. So yeah. So before moving forward, I would like to give little bit of background of the Shelter Associates work. We are a 30 years old organization working in the urban sanitation and housing sector. And our mission is basically to enhance the quality of life of the urban poor, basically because they are actually kept out from the developmental processes. So with our mission, we till now have impacted more than 9,000 persons through our social housing, and more than 130,000 persons through our holistic and robust one home, one toilet project across Maharashtra. So today we are exploring the model that has shown such an impact in the sanitation sector. Our founder and executive director, who is actually a architect by training and dedicated her entire life for her knowledge and skills to improve the living condition of urban poor. So we all know that being an architect, they will never enter in do or suggest anything without having a proper information, a proper data about the situation. So this also have percolated in our work and helped us making a data driven sanitation model, which is we are one of the pioneers in this data driven sanitation, and we advocate it very, very strongly as well. So on this note, I would like to invite our first speaker and my colleague Smita Kale, who is a director with Shelter Associates. She has completed her MSc in statistics from University of Pune. Leads the organization's data and program teams. She has expertise in diverse fields, including advanced analytics, health, and WASH. She possesses rich experience in development of the statistical software and plays a very important role in deploying plus codes to solve accessibility issues for the slums. She has worked in corporate sector and academic sector for 15 years, and now moved to the social sector from last 10 years with Shelter. So welcome, Smita Tai. And we would like to request you that please share that how Shelter Associate is, leveraging data in all the interventions, and how is the way forward to scaling this up in the larger extent, maybe in the cities and in the larger city or the nation as well. So I'll just stop sharing over here and handing over to you. Yeah. Thank you. You need to unmute yourself and share your screen. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Dhanashree, for the introduction, and thank you, Kirtiji, for setting up a context so nicely. I'll just share my screen. Is it visible?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, actually, when they started with the Shelter Associates, like Pratima Joshi, she's a founder director. So 30 years from this point of time, that when she started the organization, it was like, she really struggled to get the data and, for planning, for implementation, for any kind of a data. So, like from 30 years, uh, and nowadays, data is a really a big thing and big player in all the development sector. So digital technologies and digitization of all the data and all the implementation.
Smita, sorry, I think I'm not able to hear you well. There is some echo and.
Okay. Just a second.
Yeah, it's okay now. Like, I think.
Hello, is it better?
Yeah. Yes,
Yeah.
better, much better.
You
Yeah,
can continue.
Thank you. Yeah. So why data is important is now that everyone is here. We know that even in the recent G20 also, digitization has gained an importance in all the fields. So now when we are looking from the NGO's perspective in the development sector, where we want to go and we take the data to. So towards the data for public good. So why it is important? Because granular data is the best for all the interventions or all the decision makings for our development. And towards when we are talking about the equitable, sustainable cities, that really a data is an important part of it. And when we have a granular data, it gives us the insights. So the insights leads us to the informed decisions. And when all the stakeholders involved into the development take the informed decision, then it obviously it leads to a sustainable interventions and the impact is really very sustainable. And that is why, like in shelter, data is one of the important pillars of our intervention. Whatever the work we do, whether it is the sanitation or housing, so data is a prerequisite for all our interventions. So I'll quickly take you through the. Yeah. So as far as as far as sanitation is considered, how we have been leveraging data for sanitation. And I'll give you some examples of like, what is it? I'll not go in details of all the examples, but, just to give you an idea, like how we are leveraging special data for our intervention regarding the total sanitation. So basically, when we collect the data, it gives you the gaps in the service delivery. It gives you the need assessment and the existing infrastructure and existing situation on ground. Once we have that, we can identify what are the vulnerable parameters for a particular area. So when the data is ready with us and maps are ready, it gives you a comprehensive approach for this. Not just only the slums, because slums are integral part of a city. So it gives you the holistic city level planning tool also, because as far as considers only slums, if we do the planning for only slums, then it will not help because it is surrounded by a city area. And so the citywide planning is very important. Citywide and neighborhood approach is important. And the mapping information gives you that kind of perspective. So once the mapping is done, then the effective implementation and efficiency is very important in delivery of services, monitoring of services, and impact, measuring impact also. So all this kind of a process is very important where data is considered. Once you have the factual data, then only you can go ahead and, if the base is strong, then you can go for the implementation. It brings you transparency also in the process. So I'll just quickly take you through the steps that we follow for creating the data, spatial data. So as slums are integral part of it, but many times these are ignored while doing the planning of at city level. So making invisible visible, because even though the 40% of the population living in the slums in the bigger cities, they are still ignored, and that is why we are saying that those are invisible. And what we are doing, so data collection and poverty mapping is the first step that we do to gather the data, to bring it on the GIS platform, integrate it with the mapping information, and make the useful the lively maps for the implementation. And we are not just stopping there to create after creating maps and getting your data, but we publish it in the public domain. So all the municipal corporation where we are working, we also share the data with them. They help us to validate the data on ground. So the data is authenticated and it is available in the public domain for any stakeholder to use it. So wherever across 7 cities of Maharashtra we are working, all the municipal corporations have linked their website to our website where they can see the slum data and can go into details of every slums and see what is the existing status, what are the different layers that we have put up for their planning or for their intervention purpose. So I'll give you some examples of how we are leveraging data for sanitation, particularly that when we are doing the infrastructure mapping, the data, the maps comes alive, and they, on the left-hand side, we can see there is a map of Balaji Nagar from Pimpri-Chinchwad Municipal Corporation, where we have done the mapping of all households and existing infrastructure. So actually, the slum is like almost a 50-year-old slum, but as far as sanitation facilities are concerned, all the houses were dependent on the community toilet blocks. Very few had the household toilets, and that is why the sanitation situation was very poor. People had to defecate in the open also because all the community toilet blocks were very loaded. When we did the mapping exercise, we got this kind of existing status at that time. And when we started doing the planning, that we realized that the drainage network, the sewer network was very inadequate. And that is why we could not facilitate the household toilets which are connected to the sewer network. And when we submitted this kind of information to Pimpri-Chinchwad Municipal Corporation, they did the entire planning of laying drainage network throughout the slum. And when you see the image at the right-hand side, it shows how the lines are being laid, and at the same time, Shelter Associates facilitate the household toilets to all those houses. So all those blue houses have turned into the purple in the pink in the right-hand side, and those got the access to household sanitation. And as a result, there is a 70% increase in the household toilets, and the load on the community toilet block got reduced extensively, and open defecation, the slums become open defecation free. So this is how the data can play a vital role in planning, monitoring, and execution of the development. And when we see that often we hear the argument that the data costs a lot and there is a challenge to get funding for data. But with our experience, we have seen that whatever the data has leveraged, the cost of it is not just 2%, it is even less than 2%. And the same data can be used for other interventions also, and that leverage just the other service delivery also. And the cost still reduces. Because I'm just saying about for this particular thing that it is less than 2%. But if this data can be used for other interventions, the cost will also get reduced still more. So this is how the granular data has helped us to, plan the intervention and do the impact at scale. So when we see at the city level, now we have almost facilitated 27,000 toilets across 7 cities of Maharashtra. And how is it has impacted is given in this slide. Like drainage in terms of drainage network, in terms of increase in the household toilet percentage. And since we have the granular data, we could able to monitor it, track it, and show the impact as well. So for completions for municipal corporation, when we started doing the surveys, the need assessment gave us the that a figure that only 8% of households have household toilets. But now, after the intervention, now almost 57 to close to 60% of families have access to household toilets. Because the drainage network has also extensively increased that from 27% to 68%. And this is observed in all the cities wherever we have worked. And this is the power of data that is showing here impact. So there's another aspect of data, how data can give you insights and informed decisions. This is the map of Kolhapur, and all the slums are shown here. So here what has happened that the sewer network was not there in all the slums, and that is why depending on the situation, after doing the mapping and survey, we have realized that one solution cannot be applied to all slums. Depending on the situation on ground, we have to customize the solutions, and accordingly we need to implement. And that is why wherever the drainage connection was there, like if the city's network is going along the slums, then we informed ULPs and asked them to increase or extend the drainage network within the slums so that all the households can have access to drainage network and toilets can be facilitated to them. But when there is absence of drainage network even around the slums, then in that case, there is no option, but you need to have the alternative solutions. So there we have given the biogas plant, septic tanks, and also in the septic tanks, we did the innovation like 1 tank, 2 modified septic tanks, because the the size of the houses, size of the lanes are very narrow, and fitting all those big septic tanks is a challenge. And that is why, depending on ground situation, we have adopted different solutions, and we have facilitated different kinds of toilet and sanitation facility to this slums here. So here, similarly, various situations depending on ground, how we can give the solutions to the ULBs, and these are some of the examples from Navi Mumbai Municipal Corporation. And Navi Mumbai Municipal Corporation is very proactive, and they are very keen that all households should get access and should be given household toilets. And that is how we are jointly working with Navi Mumbai Municipal Corporation, that how we can extend the drainage network. How, if that is not possible, then how decentralized pumping stations or picker-slash management can be done. All the common septic tanks can be installed, so that most of the households can get the household toilet facility, and their quality of life gets improved. This is an interesting slide that I wanted to share with all of you, that why the granular data is so important. In the sanitation, I gave you some of the examples using maps, but this is like a very interesting thing that always we had, there are myths about the slum communities, and they have big families, and they have there is a load on the city because of these people. That's the perception. But through our data, we have done the granular data and household level data. We have seen that the family size is not 5, because all these years we are saying that there are 5 members on an average in the slum communities, but the family size has reduced. In some cities, it has 4.3 and it is ranging from 4.3 to 4.5. So it is not even going close to 5. So that is the meat that is bursted by the data. And that is why the granular data, real-time data is very important. Also, another thing that whenever we do the surveys or whenever we go to any meetings or any, stakeholders, the first thing is like, well, in slum communities, do you think that people can build a toilet? Are they interested whether they will take it in the so small houses? But yes, whenever we run the data in any kind of cities that we have seen, more than 70% of families say that they want a toilet at home, and that is their need. So this is another thing, that if there is a willingness for families to have the toilet at home. Another thing is that once the toilet is built, whether they will use it or not, that is also another point of concern people always mention. But in our study, it has shown that more than 93% of toilets are used by all family members. Because all the time it has been, okay, only small children will use or only women will be used. But no, if all members from the family are using, and of course, all the girls are using a toilet at home. So once the toilet is at home, how they are really is really a good, or good to see that. And another thing that data has brought up, like, like always it has been like, say that the slum communities, they don't want to spend anything. They want everything free. They are not freebies, because in our model, it's a cost sharing model. And as I said, that ULB is investing in laying drainage network. Shelter Associate is providing building material and other things through CSR funding. And families are investing in labor charges. So they are building it on their own with their choices and all. And over the years, we have studied the pattern, costing of it, and 20% share has been shared by the 20% is shared by the families. So they are also putting in their money, their labor to build the toilets. So they are not expecting everything to be free, to be given to free to them. And also, along with the toilets, we have seen that more than 50% of families upgrade their houses. So it is not that they want to live in there, whatever the condition, they are all dirty or whatever is the situation, they don't want to improve their situation or environment around it. No, it is not the case. They also want their houses to be clean. They also wanted their houses to be, look good. And they invest in that also. So more than 50% of families have upgraded their houses partially or fully when they start doing the toilet construction. And that cost is entirely borne by the families. So with the toilet, they are also upgrading their lifestyle. They are upgrading their, living conditions. And they are also aspiring for the good living condition. So these are some of the facts that I wanted to present using data. And quickly, I'll go to the digital addressing solution that we are doing. It is called Plus Code, because we all know that in slums, all the houses are cramped, they are densely located and they don't have a particular address for themselves. So you and I have address, and we can tell you, like, if anyone asks what is your address, so we can, quickly give our address, and people can locate our houses also very easily. But now, when we go to the slums, it's very difficult to reach to a particular house, or in case of emergencies, it is very difficult to reach the emergency services to a doorstep of a slum because of the narrow lanes, the congested, the dense houses, and the structure of the slum. And that is why we started with the Plus Code, which is a digital tool, digital addressing tool, and which is navigable on the Google map. And all the places on the earth can be converted from the lat long of that particular value to the Plus Code. It's open source technology, and this has been leveraged by Shelter Associate for various services and reaching to unreached. So basically what has happened that whenever we go to the slums, whether it is government or whether it is the service providers, they are not aware of the reach of their services, or they are not able to monitor how from where to where their services has reached. And here the plus 4 plays an important role into that. So with the JS
Smita,
technology, yeah.
can you just, because of the time constraint, I think maybe wrap up in 2 minutes next. Thank you.
Yes, yes, yeah. So here is one example where we have done it with the Kolhapur Municipal Corporation, like giving the water meter connection to the slum. So here you can see that we can monitor which are the houses that don't have water connection, individual water connection or water meter. And with the plus 4, they can exactly reach to those particular houses. And this is not just to the sanitation or water, but it can be extended to any other services like health, education, livelihood, wherever all the social welfare schemes are also there. We need to reach out to these people and make a last mile connection. Yeah, I think that's it from my side.
Thank you so much, Smita. I thought I just said the 2 minutes thing and
Yeah,
got over. Thank you so much for elaborating how Shelter Associate is, using the data part. And it is just not for a toilet, but whatever anybody want to do on the ground for slum people, the data can be the base thing for it, and it can be utilized in that way. Thank you so much. Let me just share the screen again. Yeah. So I would like to elaborate on community engagement part. We often have heard people saying that, oh, you could work in this area. It's really hard to be working over there. So to them, we say that we are very effective and our work is sustainable because we believe in community ownership for whatever we do. So it may be a sanitation or social housing. The community engagement is there from the beginning itself. So you may know that the housing is one of the critical areas, and even the household sanitation too, for that matter. But our approach of engaging with community and having multi stakeholders buy-in the processes has made this all intervention successful all these years. So we involve people. We believe that if there is a participation from people, then we can have empowering communities around us. So we involve people in the issues that affect them in their day-to-day life, and toilet is a very basic thing which requires every day, and offer an exciting method through which they can develop their knowledge, they can develop their skills, and also bring in the motivation to work on the common threads of social the sanitation problem, collectively how they can tackle the all issues related to poor sanitation, and uh, how can they be active in a change process that also is ensured through the mobilization activities. And it's very important that having a dialogue with the service provider is also important, and that is so that they can improve the sanitation situation collectively on the ground. So we engage with all men, women, and children, adolescent girls and adolescent boys through various activities, which involves community meetings, focus group discussion, transact walk, educational games and activities, awareness workshops, informal and formal activities. So all these activities are basically to ensure that the community is well versed in the adverse impact of the poor sanitation and ways to maintain the health and hygiene in a proper way. So we all know that hand washing and all that was very very important when the COVID hit, but we do conduct that ever since to maintain the health and hygiene in the community. So these are some of the photographs of the activities that we're trying to address in the community as a whole. Apart from that, we recently have stepped into making zero waste menstruation communities. The aim to make community zero towards the zero waste. So, why we are doing is basically, the kind of waste sanitary napkins are generating is very, very huge. Let's say, if one woman uses 10 pads a month, that this continues to 40 of her menstruating years, which means she uses nearly 5,000 to 7,000 pads, sanitary pads, in her entire life. And this is just for a one woman. We have, 355 million women in India itself who are menstruating. So you can imagine the number that is, and the waste that is being generated. So this pad basically goes to either landfill, or it get flushed in the toilets, and or it is burnt as well. And this pad is loaded with a lot of chemical and plastic, which takes nearly 500 to 800 years. So it's just not, one pad, one woman, or many women, but we are, uh, I mean, the pad which might be, produced at the beginning, it's still there on the planet. So this is the huge contributor of the waste crisis across world. And it is not just a waste crisis, but it is also adversely affecting women's health. Um, so therefore, what we are, we decided to put focus on this issue as well. And we conduct in-depth workshops with women and girls as well. We basically trying to, tell them what is the basic analogy, trying to understand the menstruation in a proper scientific way, trying to break the taboos and the myths around it, and also distributing eco-friendly products, which basically mainly it is a menstrual cups. So with this effort, till now we have, I mean, 2,500 women and girls have switched using to the eco-friendly and sustainable products for their menstruations. And we look forward to do this in all the communities henceforth. Um, yes, so we have seen that we are engaging with, as a community as a whole, particularly with the women. But considering the sustainability part of it, we are also ensuring that, we have a good community representation who will take forward the work that has been done in the community. So by using special map, as Smita has already elaborated in detail, that we also use this map to select community volunteers from every area, so that entire community will get a chance to represent in the problem solving. So empowering this volunteer through capacity building, I mean, we do a lot of capacity building with them, uh, teach them the various tools and information and knowledge to create sustainable change in their communities. So instead of I talking about it, I would like to invite our one of the community volunteer, Ashwini Gaikwad, to share her experience as a community volunteer with us. Ashwini has completed her higher secondary certificate from Aurangabad board, got married after that, and has a family of 3 now. She is a resident of Navi Mumbai city. So अश्विनी जी, मैं आपको रिक्वेस्ट करती हूँ कि आप अपने आप को अनम्यूट कीजिए और अपनी बात रखिए. यस.
मेरा नाम अश्विनी गायकवाड़ है और मैं शेल्टर एसोसिएट में एज ए वॉलंटियर करके काम करती हूँ. तो मेरी जो शुरुआत हुई शेल्टर में, कैसे मुझे कैसे पता शेल्टर में.
अश्विनी जी, आपके अगल बगल में आवाज
करके एक संस्था है जो स्वच्छता के ऊपर आपके बस्ती के लिए काम कर रही है.
अश्विनी, आई थिंक आपकी आवाज ठीक से सुनाई नहीं दे रही है, क्योंकि आई थिंक आजू बाजू में बहुत सारा आवाज है. तो आप खिड़की वगैरह बंद कर सकते हैं क्या, जस्ट टू क्विकली. आप दूसरे रूम में जा सकते हैं क्या, और विंडो अगर चालू है तो आप बंद कीजिए, ताकि बाहर की आवाज अंदर ना आए. आपको अगर टाइम लग रहा है तो मे बी वी कैन just see 2 minutes की अगर वो settle कर सकते हैं क्या, and then maybe we can move forward to the next one. हाँ, शुरुआत कीजिए. Yes. हाँ, आ रही है आपकी आवाज. हाँ.
गुड इवनिंग, मेरा नाम अश्विनी गायकवाड़ है और मैं सेंटर एसोसिएट में एज ए वॉलंटियर करके काम करती हूँ. तो शेल्टर के साथ मेरी शुरुआत ऐसे हुई थी कि मुझे पता चला कि हमारे बस्ती में शेल्टर एसोसिएट करके एक संस्था है जो स्वच्छता के ऊपर काम कर रही है. आवाज आ रहा है ना? हाँ, जो सैनिटेशन के ऊपर काम कर रही है. तो मुझे पता चला तो मैंने सोचा कि ठीक है, मैं भी एक बार जाके देखती हूँ कि क्या है, क्योंकि कहीं ना कहीं मुझे भी बस्ती के लिए काम करना था, मुझे भी अपने बस्ती के लिए कुछ करना था. जो बस्ती के ऊपर जो एक लेबल था कि कचरा है, गंदे लोग है, गंदगी है, ये लेबल के लिए मुझे भी कहीं ना कहीं काम करना था. तो मैं वहां पे गई तो वहां पे ढोल बज रहे थे, गाने चल रहे थे. तो मैं गेट से निकल गई, गेट से बाहर आ गई और मैंने देखा कि नहीं नहीं, बस्ती में ये सब चल रहा है तो मैं नहीं गाना गा सकती और मैं नहीं बस्ती के लिए ऐसा कुछ कर सकती. तो मैं वहां से निकल गई. तो नेक्स्ट डे मेरे को सर का फोन आया कि आप आओ, आके देखो और अगर आपको अच्छा लगा तो फिर आप कंटिन्यू. तो नेक्स्ट डे मैं गई और मैंने देखा कि मेरे जैसे वॉलंटियर्स वहाँ पे थे जो बैठे थे, वहाँ पे ट्रेनिंग चल रहा था. तो मैं वहाँ पे बैठ गई. मैंने देखा ट्रेनिंग में कि ये सब समझा रहे थे, ट्रेनिंग चल रहा था और ट्रेनिंग में हमें बता रहे थे कि आप एक होके कैसे काम कर सकते हैं, या फिर बिना लड़ाई बिना झगड़ा करे आप लोगों से कैसे कन्वर्सेशन कर सकते हैं, आप लोगों से कैसे बात करते सकते हैं. ये सब हम लोग को वहाँ पे ट्रेनिंग में बताया गया कि आपको लोगों से कैसे बात करना है या फिर आप लोगों से अपना पहचान कैसे बढ़ाना है. ये सब वहाँ पे ट्रेनिंग में हम लोग को समझाया गया है. तो हम लोग को प्रॉपरली अभी बस्ती में काम करना है तो कैसे करना है. तो हमको पॉकेट डिवाइड करके दिए कि आपको इतने इतने घरों के लिए काम करना है. उसका एक अलग से हम लोग को मैप दिए गए. हाँ, मैप के थ्रू हम लोग को 10 पॉकेट थे, 10 पॉकेट में अलग अलग घर थे. तो वो 10 पॉकेट में मेरा पॉकेट नंबर 5 था. तो मुझे पता था कि यहाँ से लेके यहाँ तक ये मेरा मैप है और इसके थ्रू ही मुझे काम करना है. तो अभी वहाँ पे हम लोग टॉयलेट के ऊपर काम कर रहे थे. तो वो मैप में ये भी था कि कौन से घर में टॉयलेट बने हैं और कौन से घर में टॉयलेट अभी नहीं बने हैं. तो फिर हमने लोग टॉयलेट के ऊपर काम किया वहाँ पे. कचरा जो कचरा है, गीला कचरा सूखा कचरा अलग करना है, इसके ऊपर भी काम किया. उसके बाद हमारा काम वहाँ पे बढ़ते गए. तो हमारा महानगर पालिका के साथ एक मीटिंग हुआ. तो महानगर पालिका के साथ मीटिंग हुआ तो वहाँ पे हमारा एक ग्रुप क्रिएट हुआ कि जिसमें स्वच्छता का काम स्वच्छता अधिकारी और हम लोग ऐसे थे. तो वहाँ पे कुछ भी प्रॉब्लम होता था, उन्होंने बोला कि आपको कुछ भी प्रॉब्लम आता है एरिया में तो आपको फोटो क्लिक करना है और ग्रुप में डाल देना है. आपको फोटो क्लिक कर रहे हैं और ग्रुप में डाल देने के कहीं गटर भरा है या फिर कहीं कचरा जमा हुआ है और जो स्वच्छता कामगार है वो आपका नहीं सुन रहे तो फिर हम लोग वहाँ पे फोटो क्लिक करते थे और ग्रुप में शेयर कर देते थे. तो इसका फायदा हम लोग को अभी तक ऐसा हुआ कि जब भी कहीं गटर भरता था या फिर कहीं ये होता था तो हम लोग फोटो निकालते, लोगों को ऐसा पता चला कि ये लोग जो है अभी महानगर पालिका के साथ काम करते हैं और ये लोग जो है करते हैं काम. और इन लोगों को अगर हम लोग कंप्लेन करें तो वो काम वहाँ पे हो जाता है. तो ये सब वहाँ पे होने लगा. तो रिसेंटली अभी एक किस्सा हुआ कि हमारे यहाँ पे लाइट डेपो था, वो खराब हो गया था, जल गया था. उसका ओपन था पूरा वो लाइट डेपो. तो वहाँ पे बच्चे कुछ खेलते थे. तो उससे पहले एक बच्चा वहाँ पे करंट से जल गया था, उसका डेथ हो गया था. तो मैंने बहुत बार वहाँ पे जो वायरमैन आता है उसको कंप्लेन किया कि आप जरा देख लो वो डेपो ओपन है, पहले भी वहाँ पे एक किस्सा हो गया है और आप उसको रिपेयर कर दो. तो उन्होंने कुछ मन पे नहीं लिया. लेकिन शेल्टर में हम लोगों को एप्लीकेशन कैसे लिखना है, लेटर्स कैसे लिखने हैं, आपको कैसे बात करना है, इसका ट्रेनिंग दिया गया था. तो और जो महानगर पालिका के साथ जो हमारा बात हुआ था उसमें जो पहचान हुआ था वो वहाँ पे यूज हुआ. तो मैं 2-3 दिन बाद महानगर पालिका गई, वहाँ पे एक लेटर लिखा, महानगर पालिका में थोड़ा पहचान था हमारा, तो उसके थ्रू मैं महानगर पालिका के डायरेक्ट सर से मिली, उनको वो अपना एप्लीकेशन दिया। तो नेक्स्ट डे ऐसा हुआ कि वहाँ पे वेल्डिंग करके वो जो डिपो है उसको प्रॉपरली दरवाजे लगाए गए, लॉक किया गया और अभी वो एकदम ठीक से चल रहा है। तो अभी तो शेल्टर वहाँ पे काम नहीं कर रहा है 1 साल से, लेकिन इंडिपेंडेंसली हम लोगों को कैसे रहना है, कैसे काम करना है, ये सब वहाँ पे पता चला कि अभी बस्ती में कचरे के ऊपर ही नहीं बोल सकते, कुछ भी प्रॉब्लम होता है, कुछ भी, यहाँ तक कि लेडीज पे अगर किसी अत्याचार हो रहा है या फिर कुछ पुलिस स्टेशन का काम है, महानगर पालिका का कुछ काम है या फिर कई गटर भर जाते हैं, तो लोग खुद से हम हमारे तक आते हैं, हम लोग को बताते हैं कि हम लोग को एरिया में ये प्रॉब्लम है, प्लीज हमको लेटर लिख के दो या हमारे लिए ये करो। तो ये सब अभी हमारा जो पहचान है अलग से, मैंने बताया आपको स्टार्टिंग में कि मेरा जो कॉन्फिडेंस लेवल था कि सिर्फ गाने बज रहे थे इसलिए मैंने बोला कि नहीं, मेरे से नहीं होगा, मैं बस्ती में काम नहीं करूंगी। लेकिन अभी अगर बोला जाए तो बस्ती में काम भी कर लेते हैं हम लोग, और जो बस्ती में काम करते हैं लोगों के लिए बात करना, लोगों के लिए एक स्टैंड लेना, एक अलग से अकेले खड़े होना, ये सब हम लोग ने शेल्टर में सीखा। तो उसके बाद हमारा एक बोर्ड लग गए महानगर पालिका में हमारे नाम से, वो बहुत एक क्या बोलते हैं कि खुद पर एक ये होने लगा हम लोगों की, ठीक है हम लोग भी कुछ है, हम लोग भी कुछ कर सकते हैं। ये जो पावर था वो शेल्टर की वजह से हमें मिला और आज तक वो सब चल रहा है। अभी शेल्टर है, हो या ना हो, लेकिन हम लोग शेल्टर की वजह से आगे बढ़ गए हैं। अभी हम लोग शेल्टर की वजह से लोगों के लिए काम कर रहे हैं, करेंगे और आगे भी करते रहेंगे।
थैंक यू सो मच। थैंक यू अश्विनी, आपने जो आपका पूरा एक्सपीरियंस सबके साथ बयां किया, तो उसके लिए थैंक यू सो मच। और हम बहुत खुश है कि आप वो कंटिन्यू भी आगे काम कर रहे हैं। यस,
थैंक यू, थैंक यू मैम।
यस, यू कैन, आप अनम्यूट कर सकते हैं अपने आप को, या so I think I have some problem with sharing the screen, but yeah, okay, I think it is better now. So we apply a cost sharing model in our work. I think in detail now, Smita has already shared that there are 3 parties, government, shelter associates, and also the community has ownership in that. And this is basically to have, a kind of ownership by all the parties so that the sustainability is ensured in that areas. So we have constructed 27,000 toilets across Maharashtra with this model. I just would like to say that, whenever the need for a toilet is thought, like usually the first that comes, there is a space issue. And as already has been explained by this Smita Tai, we have observed that, in many cities are actually declared under Swachh Bharat mission, ODF plus or maybe plus plus, but not because the maximum people have toilet at home, but because they have been given access to a community toilet. So some or the other access has been given and the ODF status is achieved. But which is, with this solution people have got a space for defecation, but it also creates a problem with women, children, and especially the elderly people who cannot walk to reach to the community toilet. So we strongly believe that there's a need for a household toilet, and that should be ensured. So also we'd like to share the fact that these all 27,000 which we have done with this cost sharing model, uh, maximum are them are inside the house. And when we see the size of the house, like looks like 61% of the households have a size, the house size is less than 200 square feet. So it can be done, and we believe that you know this kind of experiences should be done. So let us hear one of the community participants who is a toilet beneficiary from Thane city. I invite here Yogita to share her experience with us. She is she's staying in one of the biggest community called Shastri Nagar in Thane, and staying there from last 18 years. And let's hear it from her. So Yogita ji, आप अपने आप को अनम्यूट कीजिए और आपका जो टॉयलेट का जर्नी यहाँ रहा है उसके बारे में शेयरिंग कीजिए। आपके पास बस 2 मिनट्स है, तो क्विकली आप अपना एक्सपीरियंस शेयर कर सकते हैं। हाँ, Yogita. हेलो, योगिता है क्या वहाँ पे? योगिता? I think she is not able to access the video, but never mind. I just would like to say that her house is also less than 100 square feet of the area. And as you see that they were having a bathroom for like they were having a bathing space in their house, but not a toilet. And she has a 16 years old daughter right now. And there was a huge issue because the community toilet was at a distance where both of them had to go together. Every time her daughter used to ask her to give a company to reach to community toilet. So they have come up with this innovative solution where the toilet pan is there and they have the cover which made. So whenever they want to use a toilet, they'll use a toilet. After that, they just uncover it, they cover it up and use it as a bathroom. So this is how the innovatively they have constructed their toilets. Okay, I think there's some screen sharing problem. All right. I would like to invite now, we will hear some progressive initiative from the government itself. And we have with us Dr. Babasaheb Rajale, who is a Deputy Commissioner at Navi Mumbai Municipal Corporation. We all know that we are working in 7 cities of Maharashtra, but Navi Mumbai is one of the city where there are a lot of sanitation innovation has been using. The city is using a lot of constantly innovating, how they can deliver a good sanitation on the ground. This is like one of the top 5 cities of cleanest cities in India, and he's very proactive. We have been working with him from last 3 years, and always have got a constant support to deliver sanitation on the ground. And also he agreed to participate in this conversation. So thank you so much, sir, for giving us your time. We would like to tell we invite you to tell us a little about, the innovations that city is doing, and mainly in terms of slum sanitation, slum communities. According to you, what are the gaps still exist in the service delivery, and how you see the way forward to it in terms of institutionalizing data, or maybe availing infrastructure to reduce down the gap, and how are the financial mechanism for it, because central and state governments or whole focus is now on the waste management. So we would really like to hear from you that how you see the way forward for having a household toilets. So over to you, sir. Over to you, sir. Thank you. I just stopped share and you can share the screen. Yes. Sorry, I can't hear you. Do you want me to share the screen for you?
Yes.
Okay.
Is it visible?
Yes, yes, it is visible. Thank you, sir.
Namaskar, Kirti ji, Dhanashree, Smita ji, Ashwini and Yogita, all delegates. Today I am representing Navi Mumbai Municipal Corporation and on behalf of our Municipal Commissioner. Yes, ma'am. As Dhanashree explained that the Navi Mumbai Corporation is working with the Sector Association, and I would like to say that Dhanashree and Amol and a team working with Sector Association associates in Navi Mumbai is
Babasaheb, there
very
is some
hardworking and
Babasaheb, some problem with your
Audio.
audio.
you're not able to,
Kirti ji,
not
there is
able
problem
to hear you
audio.
well. Yes, not able to hear you well.
Yeah.
Take some time, but adjust it so that we don't lose you on this, because this is a very important presentation.
Is it okay now?
Only slightly better. If it could get
Yeah,
even
it's
more
just
better.
slightly better.
Can I leave and rejoin again?
Whatever. Please take 1 minute to adjust. Doesn't matter, because it's very important that we hear you properly.
Yeah.
Audio setting. Dhanashree, is it okay now?
Distantly okay, sir, because your voice is coming very distantly, not very clear, like not very sharp.
Now is it okay?
Yeah, it is okay now.
It's much better.
It's much better. Yeah.
Take it. Good evening, everybody. Dhanashree and Amol, they are working with NMMC, and I think I will appreciate this team appointed by Shelter Associates in Navi Mumbai, because I saw, and even some pictures were presented in last presentation. That time you have seen that how they are working with our slum area, and how they are working as a team member of that slum area, and that's why they are getting good results and some response from our slum area. I think you all know about Navi.
So you need to unmute yourself. I think you have gone on mute. Yeah, now it's fine. Yeah.
Now it's okay.
Yeah.
All of you know that Navi Mumbai is a planned city, and having an area of 110 square kilometer with approximately 15 lakhs, more than 15 lakhs population. Our city is ranking third in Swachh Sarvekshan, which is the largest drive taken in India with the central government MOHUA, and we are third in this Swachh Sarvekshan in India, and we are first in Maharashtra from when Swachh Sarvekshan is started. Only city having a 5-star certification in Maharashtra, and we were first in Maharashtra, and out of 9 cities. We achieved Water Plus certification, which is a topmost certification in water in ODF category. We were having near about 225 gardens, and we are having our processing plant at Turbe, which is located at Turbe. 100% solid waste is treated and processed at landfill site, at processing plant, and which whatever inert is there, it is scientifically disposed at landfill site. About 8 to 10% inert is disposed at the landfill site. Our vehicles in NMMT, means Navi Mumbai Municipal Transport vehicles, 60% vehicles are CNG and electric vehicles to reduce the pollution, and we are having our own water dam having a capacity of more than 7 TMC. Regularly, we are lifting near about 450 MLD water, and we are giving 24/7 water to our node area plus slum area. In 2017, we were first. Swachh Sarvekshan is started from 2014, and first time they started separate category of open defecation free category in 2017, and we were ODF free. In 2017, 2018, we got the certificate of ODF plus, and 2021, we got a Water Plus certification, which is the highest category of ODF category, highest certification of ODF category, in which maximum water reuse, means sewage water is treated and it is reused for a garden, for construction site or other site, means road washing and our vehicle washing, and that's why we got Water Plus certification. And we are now focusing for water security, and out of 4,320 cities in India, we are one of them in Water Plus, and only 9 cities are there in Water Plus. We are having 99% sewage network, and our toilets. These are the pictures of toilet. We are having 7 STPs. These are STPs located at 7 places, and these are toilets which are more than 400 toilets we are having in across city. And we appointed comprehensive contractors to maintain these toilets, and each and every toilet is regularly attended by caretaker and our separate washing vehicle, which is frequently taking inner and outer washing of these toilets. Mechanized cleaning sewer line and septic tank facilities are there. We have converted our all manholes to machine hole, and we got Sapai Mitra Suraksha Challenge Award also with second rank in India and with prize money also. Only I think 42 septic tanks are there in our city, and where there are septic tanks, we gave us a soak pit. Total slum population is divided in 7 slums, and 100% IHL target is achieved by corporation. And wherever there is some toilet, means there are no IHL, and they are using the public toilet or community toilet. There we are planning for giving 100% toilet. As Dhanashree told that each household have their own toilet they are planning, and center associates are always working with us, and they are raising their funds, and the corporation is always with them. And even due to that, and due to response of our slum public, we achieved this target. There are some problems in slum area because of some geographical difficulties. We are unable to connect this 42 toilets to our sewer line. But as the previous presentation, I think Smita told that NMMC is planning for decentralized STPs, and means we want that there should not be single septic tank in our city. That's why we are planning for that, and we will 100% achieve that target also. Our toilets having 100% access, and even our septic tanks are geotag. We are using level transmitters, and sewer network in the slum is more than 30 kilometers. These are photographs of our some toilets which are existing in our city. These pictures are. This is the picture of lever transmitter. This lever transmitter is a unique device which is used for getting information of the tank level, means septic tank. When septic tank is up to 70% or 80% filled with sewer, our control room get alarm that this septic tank is filled. Septic tank is 70 to 80% filled, and after that, within some time, our suction vehicle will attend that septic tank. They will clean that septic tank, and there is no chance of overflowing or no chance of soiling of this septage. These are our pumping centers, septic tanks, and these are IEC material which are given by government, and we have used in slum area. These are tank. These are our IEC metal, and this is used for awareing the citizens. These IEC materials are for such a Sapai Mitra Suraksha Challenge that we are planning that each and every citizen should know that these manholes are converted into machines, and as per the GR, it is not allowed to enter anyone into manual. Because of this, people are aware, and not a single incident is happened in our area. For Sapai Mitra, we are taking always we are taking health camp regularly, and not for them only. We are taking for family members also. And this health camp is not only checkup camp. In this health camp, we are giving facility like you see that in this picture. ECG is also taken. Means we are doing ECG, we are doing bone density, skin diseases. We are covering all these diseases, and if any Sapai Mitra is having a problem of any serious or major health issue, these Sapai Mitras are shifted to our hospital, and we are taking care up to this up to curing of that patient. These are some awareness camps where we give a training to our Sapai Mitras. We are using this cameras in septic tank cleaning, because due to camera we are getting directions. Means we are getting idea that in the sewer line, if there is any major obstruction, when our jet entered in sewer line, it is monitored by camera, and as per direction, means whatever there is obstruction, we can give a direction to the jet, and the sewer line is clean. Main focus is our main focus is that within few couple of days we want that our city should be tank free, septic tank free, and for that we are taking some major decisions, and we are moving towards 100% sewer network. I think these are the total brief about Navi Mumbai Municipal Corporation's issues related sewage or cleaning of toilets and slum area. I would like to share some things with all these team members, that when we are using some these toilets and public means when public is using these toilets, if our toilet is kept clean, I think that it will be maintained by users also. But if toilet is not maintained, users doing it more unhygienic. That's why we got experience that when we are keeping our toilet up to mark or at a clean level, it is a very good experience that even citizens also, means the citizens, those who are using in these toilets in slum area also, they are also supporting, and they are also keeping helping in keeping the clean. That's why we are when we are keeping clean, it's giving better result also. And thanks to these shelter associates and all these team members, Kirti ji, Dhanashree, and Smita ji, even Ashwini ji share their experiences. That is also good, because she is also resident of Navi Mumbai. And thanks to all team members, and thanks for giving a platform to me to represent Navi Mumbai. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir, for giving the in detail innovations that are being implemented in Navi Mumbai city, and we know that we are witnessing all this improved sanitation situation in Navi Mumbai. We now will move forward to the question and answer session. I think there are no questions from the audience side, but I would just like to raise one question to you, that when we are saying like now the SBM2 like 0.22 has all focused towards the FSSM and the waste management basically. So maybe once the drainage is laid and in all the area, as you're saying, the 100% covering 100% is the mission, then maybe like organizations like Shelter Associates can't be reaching out to all the households. So is there any financial mechanism available to the city? Maybe from the prior Swachh Bharat Abhiyan, and if not, then how you think that can we reach to the we can reach to the 100% of the households with a home toilet? So yeah, over to you, sir.
This is very good question. This is very good question. I think there will not be any issue of fundings in Navi Mumbai Corporation. As I told that where there is a septic tank due to unavailability of sewer line, there we are going for a decentralized STP plants. And main thing is that if ISHL is required, and for that shelter is raising fund, we always welcome that. Means you are not only fund, but you are more of a means how you are working. That is good. That you are not giving only fund, you are getting done toilets from them. That is most important. Otherwise, when corporation will give fund, there is a difficulty that when there is some doubt that they are 100% they are using fund, or they are using that fund for other purpose also, because they are always in means financial crisis. That's why there are more chances of using that funds to other other purposes also. And the main thing is that you have seen that when government funding is there, I think 4,000 rupees is given by state government, 8,000 is given by central government, and I think remaining amount means 8 to 12,000 is given by corporation. Like this, we are giving for toilet. That's why Navi Mumbai Corporation already sharing money with state and central government, and figure might be variable, but the Navi Mumbai Corporation is already sharing, and wherever you are raising fund, we always welcome.
Okay, thank you so much. Is this Smita ji over there? Like, are you there? Question to Smita
Yes.
Kale? Yeah. The question is basically, the data part you are explaining in detail, but we would like to know that how data can be used by the other organizations and how it can be, used by the other organization. Can you just elaborate on that quickly?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, definitely data can be leveraged by other organizations also. Like whatever the base is created by shelter associates for any particular settlement can be leveraged by other partners as well. Because for the same household, you're giving services. Shelter associate is giving the sanitation facility. Some other NGO may be working in the livelihood sector, wants to train the people or wants to run the skilling program also. So basically they will also need to know about the the situation, where are the families, where are their beneficiaries are residing. So the same data can be used, and the different parameters or different information can be add on that, and that can be leveraged definitely. So one of the example I'd like to share that we have done it with an NGO collaboration with an NGO in South India. They are interested in wildlife movement because their settlements are located into the hill region of Nilgiris, and there was a danger of wildlife, wild animal movements, and the community was endangered. And there also they have used the GIS data and maps to spot that where are the movement and how they can control it, how they can leverage it. Yeah. So
Okay.
Can I ask a question, Smita ji?
yes, sure, sir.
Smita ji, a couple of years ago, I think I was talking to Mashal people who've done this slum atlas.
Mhm.
And I said, I understand the use that the city officials make of.
Hello.
I think there is some, he has got disconnected while asking question. Ujjwala ji, can you check with him?
Yes, let me just quickly check with him.
Just 1 minute, we'll just check with him and then maybe we'll conclude.
Yeah.
Or maybe we can take the question later on from him. Because I think Rajale sir is also there.
Dhanashree ji, he's just joining in.
Okay, okay, yeah.
Maybe we can wait 10 seconds.
Yes,
and-
sure.
Yeah.
Yes. Is he there? No. Yeah. He got connected. Yes, Kirti ji. I think
Yeah.
you are on mute, Kirti ji. We can't hear you. No,
No,
can't hear.
can't hear you, sir.
Do you hear me?
Yes, we
Yes.
can now.
Oh, I'm extremely sorry. I think something
No,
happened.
no.
I'm sorry. I'm extremely sorry. I think if you allow me to ask this question, I
Sure.
was telling you that I was talking to Mashal people. I think Sharad Bahadur was alive at that time. They've done this wonderful work on slum atlas. And I said, I understand the use that slum atlas is put to by the officers, even the slum atlas used by the builders and all kind of people. What is the use of the slum atlas to the community? I was saying, if you go to Delhi, if you go to other big cities, when you enter a community, there is a map of the community there. I think, I thought that if you really could make a fairly large scale, I think, map of a slum, and this very big map was there at the entrance. It's a huge thing of community pride. Because what will happen is this, that it would, like, say, for instance, a housewife, when a guest comes or whatever, he said, this is my house, this is the water tank, this is where the temple is. It's an amazing kind of things in terms of how people relate to mapping. And I think now that you invested such huge amount of resources and have such beautiful maps, I think that I was very impressed with the quality of maps you have. Why don't they go in the streets of Pune, in the street of Kolhapur, where they really become identity of the slum? As a matter of fact, moment I see a map like that, as it's a matter of pride for the people. So I was just wondering whether such a use is possible, and I think community could pay for it, the corporation could pay for it, a CSR could pay for it. It's not a big thing, but I'm just talking about taking the map to the people and using that as a tool of empowerment, as a tool of information for them, not only tool of information for the community worker, but tool of information for the community itself is really kind of going down. So that's my first suggestion, and I just wondering how would you respond to that sort of a thing?
Yeah, absolutely, Kirtiji. I agree with your point, and we are creating data from community, and it should be used by community, and it should community should own that data, and that is why we also believe that they should be empowered to see the map, how their slum looks like, where are their houses, how it has been laid out. So we do that kind of efforts to show them, because everything we uploaded on our website. So we conduct sessions with them sometimes and show, like, this is the website where you can search your slum and you can see the houses, these and all. And about the maps also, that we have tried in one of some of the communities, putting up a big map also. So that we would really like to take it forward also, and know, the plus code has really helped, to take it forward, because right now what we are doing, that we are creating a blue plates of plus code and giving them to each and every house. So they are putting it on their door or on their wall. So that is a identification for them. And if you can put a map of it showing where how the plus codes are there and where are their houses, so it will definitely give the navigation also, and for within the community, and they will take a pride, as you rightly say, that okay, this is my community, and here my house is, and here is the plus code. So it's a kind of pride for them also. So definitely we are sharing data with the community, and we are going to organize more and more sessions with the community as well, to make them aware how they can leverage more and more data and for their use, because we are using it, ULB is using it, but it should be useful from their point of view as well. So your point is very well taken, PG.
My second question is to Babasaheb. Babasaheb, can I ask you a question, sir? Is Babasaheb there?
Yes, he's there. You can ask. He said yes for it. Yeah.
Babasaheb, can you hear me?
Yeah, Kirtiji, I am here. You are audible.
Babasaheb, I think yours is a new city, and it evidently has lots of advantage of being a relatively new city. And I personally feel the way you're going about doing things, it's not impossible to become #1 city in terms of all those areas that you mentioned. How about making a promise to yourself and your political leaders and your elected people, saying that in the next 1 year's time, next 2 years' time, we would kind of fill in the gaps that exist on X, Y, or C area, will become #1 city in the country, because this country badly needs #1 city, which has done everything. And you seem to be very near it. And I thought I'll ask you this question in this, whether such a political sort of commitment. I know, like, say, for instance, Navi Mumbai essentially rejected to be part of the smart city project, which really means that there's a huge amount of thinking that goes on in that place. And this may be right or wrong, it's a different story. But the fact is, it decided to drop out. So similarly, if you have a very vibrant corporation, if you have a place which is very near to the thing that we're expecting, and if it becomes a political decision that we want to cover the following 4 deficiencies in the next 1 year or 2, it will be tremendous, because it would show one city which has shown commitment and done it.
I think this is a very challenging question, but tricky question. But I think nothing is impossible when there is a will, and our political will plus our corporation plus our citizen support. We are 100% confident that we will achieve #1 within some days, and for
Wonderful.
we have tagline that Nishay Kela number Paila. This is our tagline, and for that. And for that, we are regularly planning what to do for next, whatever challenging we are facing. Each and every challenge, we have planned for that. And that's a small example that what I told you, that even Dhanashree can more explain, basically, because where it is not possible to go by sewer line due to railway line or due to some geographical problems. For that, we are planning for a decentralized small STPs. Even we are ready to invest for a STP to 1,000 households, 100 households, whatever may be. But we are going for that. And 100%, I think when political will and citizens will is there, and the citizens are supportive, 100% we go for that.
Very good, very good, very good.
Thank you, sir.
And the last point was this: can I make one to Shelter Associates?
Yes.
You, ma'am.
Yes, sir.
First of all, tremendous, very well conducted meeting. But I think I wanted to come to this particular one. you've done a huge amount of work in terms of numbers of toilets. You're the toilet queens of this country. What I want to find out was this: that, like say, is it possible for you to kind of work and put your data center to work to find out what kind of innovations are people making in toilet? Like you showed one.
Yeah.
Where but if you really examine a toilet, in a flight, in an airplane, it's an amazingly, it's every single thing in that particular place is innovation.
Right.
Every single thing. The size of innovation, the way it flush is innovation, the noise it makes, everything is innovation.
Right.
You're talking about 30,000 toilets or something like that.
27, yeah.
And people are very, very capable of making innovation. So is it possible for you to kind of monitor what kind of small or big innovations, where are they coming from? What are they? And as a matter of fact, even I'll just give you a small example. I'm
Yeah.
not so sure whether it was happening or not, but there is an organization called Gram Vikas in Orissa.
Yeah.
And they've done a huge amount of work on sanitation and toilets. Now, do you know that they have a scheme that before certain time, before 7:30 or 8, if the family toilet is not clean and if it's identified, they have to pay a huge amount of penalty. Something like 3 rupees or 5 rupees or whatever. And it works. It works. Now, what I'm trying to say is this: the toilet, in terms of space planning, you're really talking about, say, building 4x4 toilet or 3x4 toilet in 180 square feet is a huge thing. So starting from space allocation to gadgets, to, I think, to all that, multiple use of the space. If you were to kind of even organize a competition to look at this innovation, it would be enormous, because then I think, this is a huge gift you're giving to the community.
Yes, sir.
Especially to the women. And whether something is doable.
Certainly, because it is certainly doable, and in a way, we are also doing it. Mapping every toilet, and the innovation of it. The beauty of this model is where we are giving this material to people, and people are constructing it by themselves. So the thing is, every house size of the house is different. One it in a triangle shape, or maybe one it a rectangle one is square, and as per the size of the house, it is like, every toilet is very unique, very, very unique. And we have all the photographs with that. So the certain documentation is definitely being there. And another point which you mentioned about the maintenance part of it. So what we have observed, all through these years, uh, the one is the size of the house is small, and everything is in the house is going to be there. So the toilet is maintained absolutely very nice. They are always clean. So actually, yesterday or the day before yesterday, Pratima Thai only was sharing the experience that we were behind for one of the funders to see the project on the ground, because they never have visited, and it took them to commit their time after 8 years of intervention. So we just selected slum, and they went back and see the toilet, and they saw all the toilets were very, very maintained nicely. And so that is what the maintenance where you know uh, uh, we don't have to look for it. It is maintained properly and sustained in a way as well. But what you have said, that that maybe kind of competition, maybe we can just come up with, because this toilet which we have shown in the picture is not something we have suggested. It just they themselves have thought that the place is like this, and then how we can utilize it in a way. So that is in a way and actually happening there, but we can make it more visible in a way, because maybe we are very silent on showing it up. We
Yeah.
can definitely show, document, or maybe make a separate uh, uh, separate documentation for that, and talk about it more in terms of this is something we have not done so far, so we'll surely take it up.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Okay, so I think on that note, I'll just say that we are towards the end of the webinar. I just would like to conclude it, in this way that we feel that inclusive and holistic sanitation, planning is essential to ensure the good quality of uh, sanitation is provided and the betterment of the people is ensured with all the efforts we are doing. And it is just not people. Actually, we are now also seeing that, it is impacting environment as well. So we need to come together and, join handly, we have to do it. When, as Rajale sir also mentioned that, when all stakeholders come together to make a real difference, political will and the government will and all the NGOs and the people come together along with that, then then there is nothing impossible. We can certainly do things very, very positively on the ground. Yes, so on that note, thank you so much for all the panelists, community representative, and the participant for making this conversation more insightful with the discussion. And we wish and hope that with such efforts, cities will become more livable for everyone, and each one of us become more conscious also towards the environment, making the enriching environment around us as well. So yeah. Thank you so much on this note. I'll just formally
Thank
announce
you,
that.
I think, on behalf of INHAF to Shelton Associates and all of you for this two webinars which you organized. Both of them were high quality webinars. We've learned a great deal, I think, out of this, both on the shelter as well as sanitation. You're doing tremendous work. We would want all the strength to you to do more and better. And I hope in the next year or so, I'll come back again to ask you to organize one or two more webinars in detail. I say this is a good thing to talk about. But then you could take up, say, the risk aspect of innovation, this aspect of financing, this whole aspect of engagement and of participation. Because the toilet, as a matter of fact, it does enormous amount of dignification.
Yes.
It's a dignity that's very important. And dignity and sanitation and cleanliness, when they go together, it's a very different definition of poverty. Very different. You look upon poverty differently. And therefore, I think you're doing some tremendous amount of work, and congratulations, and give my regards to everyone in the organization, and thank you very much for this effort. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Rajale sir.
Thank you so much for this opportunity.
Everyone here. Thank you so much.
Thank you, everyone.
Yes, sir. Thanks.